that go sideways a little bit.
No.
That's one thing. I think maybe something happened that I'm not really fully aware of. But sometimes I'll say things and they don't come out the way I think they're going to come out. With that. I am Paige.
And I'm Evan.
And we are P&E Outdoors.
Glad you joined us.
Yeah, we are happy to be out here today. We decided to come out into some beautiful creation that's surrounding us and just take a time to chit chat, maybe kind of like follow up on a conversation that we had already started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about mainly kind of mobility issues, how to get around as we are getting older and things. And I mean, we're walking out on a trail, there's roots and bumpy things, but as we age, how do we continue to be able to do this? But more importantly, the mobility things, how do we support each other when we're having issues walking around, or maybe an injury on the trail, or
yeah, just accessibility considerations. And one of the things we were talking about was how like you have some just natural inherent things going on with your body. We didn't talk about mine, but I clearly do at this point. And then there's things that you get in terms of injuries because of the training that you do. So then you can add that to, just inherent declining features of our bodies at this point. And that's kind of the nature of all humanity, right? We get to a certain point and we're in our 50s. And
in my 5 decades on this earth, I have some shoulder issues currently. I have, hip tightness. I had elbow things. I have wrists, and I just have all kinds of issues. But I don't want any of that to stop me from getting outdoors and enjoying life, being able to support each other. Which is really important to me.
So back to you. That is vital. Like I think that's one of the things that we, in our relationship, we are really. I feel like we're really good at. Supporting each other, and when one is needing a little, like when I might maybe 50%, he might be 70%, or maybe he's 100%, and there's times that he's like 30% and I'm at the 70%, or sometimes we're both not great, and might not be all physical. Maybe there's just stuff with our work and our jobs, and or there's just family things that are going on. But I find that we do seem to be able to complement each other when we're needing that.
We're able to encourage each other without putting demands on each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's valuable.
Yeah. And I would say, so the past year and a half, I've been having hip issues, but the kind of hip issues that I just thought it was me getting older and, not being as limber and flexible. And so I just put myself on my own stretching program, and twice a day for the most part. And the job that I do requires a lot of physical, in my opinion, demand. And so I was finding success and help with the stretching that I was doing. But 2 weeks ago, after about 8 weeks of just really struggling and it getting increasingly worse in my right hip, about 2 weeks ago, I hit like a point where I had to stop. It was so bad. And so that took me to a series of doctor's appointments and trying medications, and finding out that it wasn't sciatica, but it was really arthritis in my hip with bone spur formation and possible soft tissue tearing and all those things. And so I'm still in the muck of all of that. But I think one of the things we realized was that because it can mentally wear on you when you're having a physical incapacitation. And Evan has been great for my morale and my mental space, and just offering just a deviation from what I'm experiencing in my body and the pain. But I had a lot of trouble working through the fact that we had to cancel a trip to my high school 40th reunion that was happening this past weekend, and that was really hard for me. I had my mind set on that, my heart set on that. My friends were wanting to meet Evan. I wanted to introduce Evan. I wanted to reconnect with these friends of mine, having been raised in the military and not living near them since I graduated at all. And so that was a really hard decision to make, and mentally I was struggling. Yeah.
So we needed to go out and have some fun.
Yeah.
And we just are trying to be kind to each other, because sometimes it could be a little thing, right, to one of us, and a big thing to the other. But understanding what it means to each other, it's helpful to be able to just be there to support each other. And you've done this many times for me, and it really helps. It helps you get through the time. I mean, we don't know what life has to unfold before us, but knowing that you have someone to help you get through those times is really good. Besides, our faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's helpful.
Absolutely. And I think you made a comment earlier today about how just having that important person to lean on, and that made me just think even more so, like, just the power of you and I being synced up, and just kind of staying in, I don't know what, staying in close contact in the sense of what our needs are, how are we functioning, where do we need support, and maybe we're not like really, I think a lot of this happens for us, and then I wouldn't say we read each other's minds, but I think we know each other well enough at this point, we kind of know, oh, well, he's in a lot of pain and he's not doing well, and so maybe there's extra grace given in certain places. Or I know one time you asked me, you said, hey, are you being short with me because you're in so much pain? And I was like, oh.
I was going to say, I get kind of testy when I'm in pain. I think we both do. We share that.
Yeah, I get internally frustrated, and then I feel trapped, and I've had a history where I've had to deal with some chronic stuff in the past, and I have found I'm in a part of my life where I haven't had to face that to the same degree. And I think when this hip thing happened for me, it put me in a place of remembrance. And while I'm deeply grateful for where I am today, I also don't want to return to where I was. And I know it was a part of my journey. It's a part of what's made me who I am today, and I don't want to return there. So that's really clear in my brain, and I work really hard not to go to those places. And yeah. And so I must have been short with Evan at some point, but he at least asked me, are you being short with me because X, Y, and Z? And that let me know, oh, I must have been short with him, and that was not my intention. So we cleared the air, and we were good, and we moved on.
I would say, as a man, communication is sometimes difficult. Using words to describe your feelings more so than just actions of things that you want to get done. I want to get things done and be done with them sometimes, and sometimes I want to just draw it out because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. The more we communicate, the more we become able to communicate non-verbally with each other.
Yes, that's kind of, that's how, I think that's where I was trying to get to, because I feel like we don't read each other's minds, but I feel like we're able to shortcut some things. And the more time we spend with each other, and the more things that we do together, especially being outside, outdoors, and putting tents together, and figuring out what meals we're going to make, and what are the activities going to be, and how are we going to sleep, and what vehicle are we going to take, and all those things, I highly suggest for any two people who are building a relationship, get out and about. Whether you spend the night or not, I highly recommend putting a tent up, figuring out how you would sleep in that tent. What would be your comfort level? What do you need on a campsite, or out in wilderness somewhere, or on a road trip? But I think that it has definitely shored up some places between you and me in our communication, and it's given us like a roadmap for how to communicate better in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
And I think the other thing that was interesting to me was, as Evan was telling me, he's like, you know what? All of this is just really about realizing the need that we have to not just do this all on our own, but that we do need somebody in our corner to like be with us and be for us. And I was like, yeah, we do. Like, absolutely. Like, I feel like I see that, but to know that he sees that, to see that he feels that value as well, I think for me just affirms more his ability and his awareness, his ability to see me and his awareness of me, and then the good, and and what our relationship might need for a certain time and season or circumstance. And for me, that is powerful because I feel like I am by no means belittled or minimized in what I'm saying when I say this, but I can look to him for guidance and leadership and his wisdom in these places, because he will always involve me in that process.
The projects are important, as you said. Set up a tent, do something like that. And the project is not setting up the tent. The project is working together and communicating to set up the tent.
Yes.
That is the challenge.
That is.
And you won't get it right the first time. You won't get it right the 10th time. The point is to become more and more efficient at doing it, and to communicate, become more efficient at communicating and knowing what each other assumes that the other is going to do, or define roles for yourself.
Right. And
positions to do.
Yeah. So I'm completely okay with the fact that I'm going to be the person that puts the pole where it needs to go. I'm okay with that. Oh, did that go sideways a little bit?
No.
That's one thing. I think maybe something happened that I'm not really fully aware of, but sometimes I'll say things and they don't come out the way I think they're going to come out. That's one of the beauties of, and it happens with him too, but I think it does happen on my end a little bit more.
Oh man, all the thoughts just left my mind right then.
Well, we're talking about, supporting each other and leaning on each other, and
We have natural limitations.
Yes.